Ladies and gentlemen, after another long wait, I know, I apologize, we finally have episode 6 of the hardcore series, and today's episode is actually the first episode that is taking place in 1.21, aka the Tricky Trials update, which means we have a lot of new blocks to play with, and I kinda want to theme today's episode around the trial chambers. So let's go ahead and go inside and take a look at the episode to-do list. Oh, hi there, Editing Demon Joe here. Originally, I had a huge to-do list that I wanted to have for today's episode, but I vastly underestimated how much work this is going to take. We're going to be building a completely new town in today's episode, and it's dedicated to trial chamber cultists. And this is where we're going to buy all our trial chamber maps going forward so that we can find the trial chambers and get the loot from them. Now, granted, that was originally planned for the to-do list, but this town and this whole episode took me around 20 to 30 hours to record, so we kind of can't do that. But we will in next episode. But you guys are going to see the massive journey that I took to be able to turn nothing into something. I hope you guys enjoy. Now, before we do that, I want to go ahead and move on over to the comment of the day from episode 5, which comes from Athenex, which said, "You should keep the parrot at the villager boat and name it Davy after Davy Jones." When I made this book, I typed Dave for some reason. Don't worry about that. He said Davy, so we're gonna go ahead and put that book up there. So we're gonna name him Davy, and can I get him? Oh, there we go. That was easy. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and move on over here, and I guess we can get rid of one of... Actually, no, I could actually have him right here if I jump. Is he gonna... Oh, no. Oh, no. Davy. Davy, please. There we go. Okay, yeah, we'll just let him hang out with the villagers. Let me push him over to, like, this little lectern right here. And yeah, he can just, you know, just hang out in there and make sure he's safe. He doesn't have to sit in the rain and stuff. But yeah, let's go ahead and get the actual episode started with. So of course, we are going to want to build ourselves a brand new town nearby to ours. And the main block palette that's going to be for this town is going to be deep slate tile blocks, as well as a lot of copper blocks. We're also going to need a lot of honey so that we can wax these blocks to keep them from oxidizing and stuff like that. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if I have any copper ore. Yeah, I have 13 copper ore, like total. That's it. I have nothing else. So we're gonna have to do a lot of mining in today's episode, and I'm gonna have to speed it up for you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to hop into the mines, and I'll either see you guys in a minute or see you guys in a montage. Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to announce that a lot of copper has been mined and a lot of honeycombs have been gathered. Yeah, it's been a minute. There's been a lot that's gone down. Just to give you guys an idea, I haven't really mined copper up until this episode. Like, probably mined a total of, I don't know, maybe 30 ore. Well, I've mined 845, okay? And, I've gotten 6,362 ingots from my furnaces. So yeah, it's been an adventure and a half. And of course, you know, the beehives and everything coming in clutch. I honestly didn't even build this dome with the intent of building with copper later down the line. It just kind of worked out that way, which Hey fellas. Which I'm pretty happy it turned out that way, because I am really happy to be able to build with Tricky Trial update stuff today. But yeah, we have a lot of copper. I'll go ahead and go into the house and show you guys really quick. I also ended up buying a silly thing from a wandering trader. yeah, I bought a little target block. If you guys don't know, we're running the Vanilla Tweaks data pack where the Wandering Trader can sell these little mini blocks, and I kind of like it because they're decorative. But anyways, we have a lot of blocks here. We have tough blocks, which we're going to turn into like the tough stone brick or whatever. I'm going to turn all this into tiled deep slate. And then we, of course, have all of this copper stuff, which I have been gathering via a field out there. So, yeah, a lot of work's been going on. Anyways, the current plan is to build 4 total houses in this little town and surround them around a central statue. And what I want to do is I actually want to build up a pathway through those woods, find a little area to build everything up, and to essentially build the town somewhere deep in those woods, but still have it connected to our town. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started on the path. You know, there is one key thing I gotta do before I work on that path. Hey, fellas, how we doing? Hope we're doing well. Just, you know, just perish, please. Ooh, ominous bottle. I forgot about that. Sir, stop it. There we go. I forgot about the ominous bottles. Bad Omen 5. That'll be perfect for the trial chamber later. All right, so just like that, we now have our road constructed, which honestly, I don't know if you guys could tell via the time lapse because I haven't edited it yet, but it's not really that far. It's, you know, it's still within distance because, I mean, here's the thing, right? I want to make another town, but I don't want to make it like super far away, right? I'm not really a big elytra believer, at least not right now, hence why we still haven't been to the inn. And I don't even have a horse yet, so I don't really want it to be super far away because I gotta walk everywhere. But yeah, this I feel like is a pretty decent distance away. Now, on top of this little area, we are gonna clear out those trees, which I'm gonna do in like, well, I guess I can do it now. Let me go and line up really quick for the shot. What should I look at? Maybe I'll look at the corner of this block, and we're gonna make these trees disappear. Yeah, pretty good, right? I probably butchered that, but you know, hopefully it looked good. Yeah, so now we have our little area cleared out. What I want to do is I want to build a giant wall around this town. I want it to be like very secluded, if that makes sense, where they don't really accept visitors, except they accept me because I have main character syndrome. So we're gonna need a lot of spruce wood for that in particular, because I want to build this huge ring like of these logs stacked up with like some tough blocks kind of piled up on the outside. Again, we're trying to go with the trial chamber theme, so we want to incorporate tough as well as the copper blocks that we got as well. Before I start laying out where I want each building to go and kind of, you know, get a general shape for this town, I am gonna spend some time chopping down a bunch of spruce wood. So I'm gonna go do that, and then I'll meet you guys back up here with a chest full of all the goodies. All right, so a little bit of time has passed, and I may have done a few things. Number one, I have a horse now, and yes, he does have an armor trim. If you guys watch my modded videos, you guys know that I'm using the animal armor trims mod. I think it's really cool. It matches my armor. I don't know what I'm gonna name him, but this horse just kind of showed up while I was up there, so you guys can name him in the comments. But yeah, I was looking at this road because I've been going up and down this road a bunch lately, and I didn't really know what to do with it. I mean, you had these like paths split off, right, over to the dome and over down there. And I was like, man, you know, I could probably do another crop field like I did down there. And that's kind of what I did. I also made a little scarecrow, you know, some leather armor and a pumpkin over an armor stand. So I think that kind of turned out really well. By the way, if you guys haven't been able to tell, I'm just going to go and tell you, I don't think we're exploring a trial chamber today. There's a lot of building that we got to do. And I think you guys are cool with that. We've been doing a lot of adventuring lately. So we'll just keep it a building episode. And a lot of you guys have been wanting to watch me build anyways, like aside from just time lapses and stuff. So yeah, let's go ahead and get to the main project at hand, which is up here. So you guys will notice I went ahead and moved over some chests. And you can see that we have lots of stuff in here. Oh, yeah, I do have the head of a wandering trader. He kind of showed up, and I kind of killed him. So, you know, there's that. Anyways, we don't really have to worry about that. But yeah, so we have all of our stuff up here. Down here is where I want to have like a guard house, because we were talking earlier, like we want to build the lore for this place. And it's like this really secluded area where they only let in certain people, you know? And I figured it'd be cool if there's only one entrance into this little village area, that we have like a little guard house down here. But yeah, so now I want to start actually building this project. And so you'll notice I did a little bit of terraforming. I kind of flattened this area out. And what we're going to do now is we're going to take all of the spruce that I've been gathering, and we're going to take some of the tuff that I have as well, and we're going to go and start building walls, because now that I know where these buildings are going, we can do the walls, and then we can detail and stuff after that. So I'm just going to wait until the time is right when I can go to sleep. It looks like I'll be able to sleep fairly soon. And then whenever we get up in the morning, we'll go and start doing some of these walls. All right, so I mentioned earlier that I did want to use a lot of tuff, and this honestly might not be enough. I might need to go mining for some at some point. But I do want to use tuff and kind of stack it up against like the outside areas of this wall. But yeah, so let's go ahead and figure this out. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks there. So let's go ahead and bring this kind of, there we go, get that a little bit straightened out. And so I guess we'll start the wall here. Not everything necessarily needs to be symmetrical. I do want to leave a little bit of grass here though, so it doesn't feel like we're really like trying to squeeze everything in. Let me grab some dirt, because we're probably gonna need some. We don't really have much, but that's okay. I kind of want to build this up a little bit. There we go. Makes it so where it's not like we barely have any grass once we're on the inside. And so how I want to do this wall is we're going to be building it out of spruce logs, and we are going to alternate between stripped and regular logs. So what I'm going to do here is go ahead and get this around the outside. And I don't know if I necessarily want it to be super tall once we're on the inside. I mean, obviously it's going to be a little bit taller out here, you know, because it's kind of like covering all the way downward. But I don't want it to be necessarily too tall, just tall enough to make it to where, you know, I don't know, maybe 5 blocks, give or take, and we'll kind of alternate how high some of these pillars are. That way it doesn't look like, you know, too weird. And to kind of give you guys a general idea of what we're doing here, this is basically the concept. I've never really done anything like this before, and I don't know if it looks weird or not. You guys can yell at me in the comments if it does, but I'm basically going to repeat this pattern around the entire wall. And I don't know, I'm thinking like maybe I can do some other stuff to detail it, like with trap doors on the outside or something. You guys could give me some pointers in the comments. But yeah, we're gonna continue this kind of this pattern here. Not really anything too interesting other than just placing a ton of logs and stripping a ton of logs and, you know, building up a bunch of rocks on the outside with this tuff. So yeah. All right, fellas, so I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I think I did a pretty good job whenever it comes to this wall. So I'm gonna go and activate, that's my cinematic camera. I'm gonna go and activate free cam to go and give you guys an idea of what this looks like from afar. And yeah, I think it came together pretty well. I've never really done anything like this. I can't even remember, like even whenever I was younger and used to play Minecraft, if I've ever put a wall around any type of village, town, city that I ever made. Like I don't even think I've even made like a castle wall before. So I thought this came out pretty well. We of course have the alternating stripped and the non-stripped logs with some fence supports every now and again with some torches as well. And then we of course have all of the tuff stacked up against it for support. Of course we did want to implement tuff as a means to, you know, kind of get the trial chamber block palette in there. So the next thing that we of course need to work on is going to be, well, the actual, you know, village town thingy itself. The first thing I want to build is this. Now what this is going to be is this is going to be a central statue. I wanted to make the base of this statue out of some chiseled tough bricks, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. And once we get this set like this, I'm essentially just going to sit on Google Images and try to figure out if I can make this properly. And yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and jump into this. And to Google Images I went. You'll see that I'm actually building a villager statue, which I'm sure that many of you guys have probably seen on social media or, you know, other people's videos. But yeah, I'm not exactly sure who first designed it, but I really like the way that it looks. And I wanted to make it out of unwaxed copper so that we could watch it oxidize as time goes on. So now it's gonna start off as just regular copper, but you know, 30 episodes from now, maybe we'll come back and it'll be blue. But yeah, I feel like this being the centerpiece of a trial chamber villager cult town is a pretty cool thing, and I think it'll serve as a really cool landmark for this town. And there we go. Nothing quite tells you ancient trial chamber cult quite like a really menacing statue right at the front gate. I do like it. It just kind of stares you down as you walk up these steps to enter into this village. But speaking of building, the next thing I want to do is currently, you know, of course we have the guardhouse out there. This is what I want to turn into a farm. So we'll have not like a crop farm, but like an animal farm. And I do have my sheep way back there tied up to a post. You can't quite see them, but we might actually move the sheep here, and honestly the cows that we have behind the house, I might move them here as well. And I think I want this to be our next thing on the to-do list, and this is like the second biggest build, that one being the biggest. So yeah, let's go ahead and tackle this one. Fun fact to kind of let you guys in on a little bit of my creative process. This building was actually one that I had made in creative a very long time ago. It actually started as a log cabin that I was going to use for an unrelated video, but eventually evolved into this trial chamber farmhouse. As you'll see, you know, we end up changing the roof of it to have the trial chamber copper theme, and we end up adding the animal pens off to the side. But originally this was made for something completely different. Not every build you guys ever see in this series is something that I actually made specifically for the series. It's actually just me sitting in my creative world building stuff all the time, and then I just kind of get the idea to use it in an episode, and here we are. I'm mildly upset, and by mildly upset I mean fairly upset. I literally sat here for like 15 minutes talking to you guys, didn't hit the record button. So let me catch you guys up. Okay, so I built and detailed some stuff outside of the time lapse, and I talked about, you know, how I was missing a chain here, and it was kind of funny. You literally had to be there. You had to be there, but unfortunately you weren't. Built a well and did some detailing. Now you're probably wondering, where did this guy come from? And I was gathering the sheep and the cows from our town way down there, and a random zombie villager just kind of showed up, and I may have stolen the jack-o'-lantern off the scarecrow. Well, we'll get it again at some point. I'll grow another one. And yeah, this guy just kind of followed us in here, and so I just gave him a pumpkin head. He stole one of my leads, and so I was like, you know what? This guy can be the one, you know, trial chamber cultist that ventured out and got infected, and I don't know, they're trying to cure him or something like that. So he's the farmer guy, okay? So he's tending to these guys. We'll probably still get another villager to keep on the inside here. Hopefully it just doesn't freak out the villagers in the actual town and cause them to run around like all manic and whatnot. But we will get an actual villager that we can trade with and stuff on the inside, especially once we start getting this stuff furnished. But yeah, so that is the farmhouse that we have completed. The next thing on the to-do list is probably going ahead and building the shop, which is going to be this building right here. This, of course, is going to be like, you know, you come into the actual entrance of this area, and the first building you see straight in front of you behind him is the shop, and we'll buy most of our maps from this area. And this one should take way less than this building. This building took about 30 minutes. This one shouldn't take all that long, so yeah, let's go and get started. All right, so I'd say it came along pretty well. We're not going to furnish these buildings yet. I want to get basically all of them done, and right now we are missing 2. So I want to go ahead and work on this one. This is going to be like a kind of like a tavern slash like community storage area. So I want to have like this big storage box under here where there's just tons of chests and like kind of like a workshop area. And honestly, we could probably store a lot of trial chamber related items like copper and whatnot in there. But aside from that, the upper area is where we're gonna have a bunch of beds and stuff for the villagers to actually, you know, sleep in and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, this is gonna be the next one we're gonna get into. This is probably gonna be the most complicated. It's gonna take me the longest. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. And once this is done, we only have one more, and then we can start the really annoying process of getting villagers. So I wanted to start the time lapse off with a little bit of an overview of how things are looking so far, which in my opinion is looking pretty great. So yeah, now we're working on the little tavern slash storage area, essentially the bottom being where I can store a lot of our future copper blocks and stuff like that. And the top area is of course going to have beds for a bunch of the villagers, and I'm actually going to use that as an area where we can breed them. I want this town to have a different villager type, and I've decided that I want to get swamp villagers, meaning that we're going to have to bring villagers to a swamp, breed them, get 2 swamp villagers, and then bring them back here, and then keep breeding them in hopes that we get more swamp villagers, which I believe there's going to be like a 50% chance of. So we can use this upper deck for breeding them, and I can just give them food, and then the lower deck we can use for ourselves. And since the creative juices were flowing, I decided that I'd go ahead and work on the guard house too. This was very similar to the shop that we built earlier. I don't really think there needs to be a time lapse for this since it's a pretty simple building, but I wanted to show it nonetheless. And this is actually the last building that we needed for the village, so now I can get to work on actually getting the villagers. It was at this point that I had to get busy with gathering villagers, so I headed over to the first ever village we found in the first episode of the series and started kidnapping. To my knowledge, when you take a villager and breed them in a new biome, there should be about a 50% chance that their offspring takes on the clothing of said biome, so it'll truly be up to chance on how long this will take. I went ahead and took advantage of the new 1.21 feature, which allows me to attach a lead to a boat, and went on an adventure looking for a swamp to breed these guys in. After a lot of exploring, I finally came across one and set up a little base camp to keep the villagers in, while I go back home to get tons of food for baby making. Then began the process of just tons of waiting around while the villagers got busy, and eventually I had more than enough villagers to take back home with me to our new town. Once we got home, I set up the villagers in the top of the tavern and gave them tons of food around a bunch of beds so that we could populate the whole area. I then went on to finish up with some detailing to bring this build fully together. Alright, after being hard at work for what feels like forever, I mean, recording this episode, it's been a while. I mean, we've been at it for a minute, but oh man, if the result isn't worth it. So, our town is now complete. Actually, I forgot one thing. Go ahead and stop by the sugarcane farm really quick, and I don't have anything in here. I guess I'll get to harvesting. All right, I'd say we have a decent amount of paper now. Yeah, so the whole reason we built this to begin with was so that we could trade with the townsfolk to be able to get trial chamber maps. And of course, I said earlier that, you know, I don't think we'll be able to do any adventuring this episode because we've done just so much building. But yeah, I don't know. How did you get out? That's a problem. Give me one moment. Maybe maybe he slipped out when I wasn't paying attention. I don't think baby villagers can get... Whoa. Why is there another one? There's not supposed to be another one. Give me one moment. We'll take care of that really quick, and, you know, he'll be gone in just a moment. But yeah. Oh. That's how I put a bush there right before I started recording again, and that's how he got out. Yep. Where's a fence? There we go. And throw a little fence right there, keep them from getting out. There we go. We'll double up just in case. Let me just do another little patrol really quick. Make sure there's no more spots like that. Okay, yeah, so it looks like we're good. Anyways, yeah, I'm really happy with how this village turned out. I mean, if we go ahead and go into free cam really quick, I think this place is probably my best work yet. And, you know, I don't really consider myself to be a good builder necessarily, but I really do like how this area turned out. I mean, this is just fantastic. Also, whenever we built this statue, I talked about we'll see how it oxidizes over time, and only one piece has oxidized so far, so... Yeah, I'll probably die in this world before this statue ever oxidizes. But yeah, I mean, I absolutely love this place. You know, we got ourselves a zombie and everything, which is really cool. I haven't necessarily done these interiors yet, but I did do the outer details, which I think looks nice. And of course, I did the interior of the one building that actually matters. But yeah, let's go ahead and start trading with these guys. I think I just dropped my paper off down here. And eventually I am going to move one of these villagers down to this house. All right, you have a glass trade, so I'm just going to trade with you while you're breeding for some reason. Did he just have another kid? Why are we having so many kids? What is going on? Okay, so this guy has a Woodland Explorer map, which is pretty cool, because we'll probably go there eventually, but not exactly what I'm looking for. This guy also takes the glass pane trade, so we'll go and trade with him a bunch. This guy takes it, we'll trade with him. These guys are generating new loot, new trades, so let's see. Woodland Explorer, man. Unless swamp villagers, for some reason, just can't give them to you, which, oh, well, there we go. That took a lot more trades than I thought. I remember when these snapshots came out and I made like news videos on how to get Trial Explorer maps. I got it like first try, so I thought they were kind of common, but maybe they were common for the sake of the snapshot. Let me head home and grab a compass. Okay, that was actually my first time crafting any compasses or compassi or whatever. That's kind of odd. And let's go ahead and get this map. Also, I think I'll leave my horse here. I don't necessarily have a stable yet. I guess I could build a stable at some point, but I'm going to leave my horse in this little village, seeing as this kind of like little hill is where I found him at. But yeah, let's go ahead and buy this from the homie, and that should level him up again, actually, now that I think about it. Go ahead and see, because you're kind of, yeah, there we go. Blue banner, light banner, okay. That's kind of weird. But yeah, we now have ourselves a Trial Chamber Explorer map. So we'll actually be able to go there in the next episode, seeing as this whole episode was very build oriented. And I'm going to leave you guys with a little bit of a teaser. The key to us finding the Trial Chamber is behind that hidden door right under this staircase. So I'll let you guys think about that until we get to the next episode. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for watching. I have no clue how long this episode is going to be, but regardless, you guys always seem to love it whenever I upload these videos, even though they're not often, and I hope this one lived up to your expectations. So let me know what you guys think of the build down in the comments down below. Let me know what you guys would like me to do in the future, of course, after we explore the Trial Chamber. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all next time.